Cannonball, David the Bullet Smith.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the CNE. It's Cannonball time. Are you guys ready?
Yeah!
All right. Well, they blessed me with a tailwind today. Finally, we get a tailwind. As you heard, my name is David Smith Jr. I am a second-generation human cannonball. See, this cannon that I'm standing on now is actually the 8th cannon. That was designed and handcrafted by my father, who has been a cannonball for over 35 years. Now, when I was just a boy, I watched my daddy blast his way into the record books, bringing home the title of the farthest flying human cannonball in history. That's the Guinness World Records. I'm very proud to say that since that day, the world record has never left the family. So this is quite a family tradition, and it's quite an honor for me to have the ability and upbringing from my father and the blessings and training to carry on this family tradition. Between my father and I, since that first trip into the record books, we've broken about 6 official world records back and forth between us. My last trip into the Guinness came this last March in Milan, Italy for Guinness World Records in European television. And we fired off the cannon shot, setting a new distance record of 193 feet 4 inches. Now, when we fire off for a distance record, that is the goal, to get as far away from the cannon as possible. Right now, I'm in training to attempt the highest cannonball shot in history. We're going to set that and record that October 15th at Charlotte Motor Speedway for NASCAR. Now what that means is I get to climb inside this cannon and point it ever increasingly steeper up into the air. For launch this morning or this afternoon, we're going to be pointing the cannon up to a full 50 degrees. Now once the cannon is in the firing position, I'm going to slide down inside to the very bottom of the 35-foot barrel and prepare myself for a blast that will fire me uphill from 0 to 50 miles per hour, or about 80 kilometers, in 1/5 of a second. That is a serious takeoff. It takes about 14 years for me to get to the point where I can handle physically this kind of a cannon shot, and also mentally to climb inside of a gun with that kind of power behind it. It's all I can handle physically to not collapse when the cannon fires. I've got to withstand about 10 times the force of gravity on a shot like this for a split second to come out flying straight and true, topping off over 75 feet high. At the top of the cannon shot, I'll really start zoning in on my target and begin a full somersault to come crashing, hopefully safely, into that blue netting. Now that netting is the only thing between myself and a very rough landing here at the showgrounds. So at this time, I'd like to take one last trip down to the landing net to make sure it's ready to catch me. And while I do that, what do you say we have our cannon technician fire up the cannon and get it ready for blast off. Are you guys ready? Yeah. All right, then here we go, guys. It's showtime. All right, now ladies and gentlemen, as I speak, my Canon technician, Katie Yawn, let me turn the music down just a moment. as I speak. Katie Yaunt is actually inside the Canon control box, the square section of the Canon. She's loading the Canon, checking it to make sure that it will fire with just the right amount of pressure and accuracy to blast me safely to my landing target. Now, as soon as I receive the signal from Katie that the Canon is ready to fire, I'll climb on top, we'll raise it up into firing position, then I'll disappear down inside the mouth of the gun. Once I'm ready to fire, and all systems are go, Katie will begin a countdown backwards from 5, and I ask you all to count it down to blast off. Can you do that for me, please? All right. I'll tell you one thing about these high shots. First off, we're kind of getting into uncharted territory, which is always a little nerve-wracking. And in my career of 14 years being a cannonball, I've logged 5,000 plus shots in 10 countries around the world. And the one thing that hasn't changed is no matter how nonchalant I become on the outside, when I'm inside the cannon barrel, listening to the countdown of my own blast off, it is a very wild, adrenalizing, and nerve-wracking place to be. So I want to hear you guys when that countdown begins. And if you enjoy the show, I want to hear you when I hit that net. All right? All right. Okay, it's time for me to put down this microphone and put on a crash helmet. Wish me luck. Here we go.
Cover your ears and join me in the countdown. 5, 4,